was the Roaring Night? I know it sounds like a ludicrous question at first, but I genuinely have not been able to figure this out. Except I have. It's Gaster. No, it's not the holidays. It's not even papyrus, dude. In chapter 3, we get our first look at the Roaring Night, which looks like this. Ignore my terrible art skills, I'm usually better on digital. So, a lot of people have been saying it's a member of the holidays due to the apparent horns. Now, I don't think this is the case. Why, you may ask? Gaster. It's Gaster. Gaster has been commonly associated with demonic imagery. You know what Satan has often been described as having? Horns. Horns, somewhat, or in this case, it could be antlers. So, why is it antlers instead of horns, you may ask? Well, isn't it obvious? It's got the exact same color scheme as a lot of the Gaster fellows and the Mystery Man spray, which sort of plays into a key theme of inversion. Again, ignore my terrible art skills. This guy, right here, that's not, it's a piece of Gaster. Not the whole thing, not what he used to look like. It's just a piece. Because this is his skeleton. It somehow has the will to keep on going. Because, dear viewer, he's the only one in Undertale who can be inverted to, like, have a face. As you can see through my very fat Gaster drawing, this is a body. It's one of the only things it's one of the only things that works for Undertale characters when you flip them upside down. Actually no, yeah it is. But why would that help me prove that it's the Roaring Night? So his creation is the Roaring, right? His creation should be the Roaring. Think about it. The Roaring is commonly the only time we see the Roaring, it's expressed as a sort of crack, a fracture. Gaster was fractured across time and space. Thus, maybe Gaster didn't fall into the core, didn't fall into Deltarune. Maybe he was fractured by the Roaring itself. So, I sound like a lunatic right now, right? It's obviously gotta be during the holidays. After all, Carol just appears when Chris talks on the phone with the Roaring Night. Except that has a reasonable explanation. Carol is the town's mayor, and it's commonly said that there's a lot of stuff that she keeps close to home. In her home that's close to her. The power always goes out before she comes home. Which you can take as meaning that she and with her status as the mayor, she most likely saw the power outage. She most likely has control over the power grid because we've never seen anyone else have it. Which, like, if you had all your close stuff at home, and suddenly there's a power outage, meaning that you, and you saw it with it being where all of your close stuff is, would you not immediately dash over to go fucking check? And seeing as how the player could probably get there in, like, less than a minute, it's pretty obvious that it wouldn't take too long for anyone to get there. But with the having, gone so quickly, to having gone so slowly, they probably couldn't have done the acrobatics at the end of chapter 3 which makes him faster than Susie. Which brings me to Death. This motherfucker. Why? It could also be Death, right? It wouldn't make any narrative sense. We know about the character in the code. And they've had hidden messages. Even in these new chapters. Who the fuck is this if it isn't Death? Like, seriously. Who the hell is it? It doesn't make any sense. But I've been running under the assumption that Death is the character in the code. And if it... but hear me out. Hear me out for just a second. In Delta, my most strong theological evidence for Bowser and predating Undertale is the Gaster followers themselves. The Gaster followers are a unique bunch. From them comes most of our narrative, evidence on Gaster. And let me check my notes here. The Gaster followers are most likely created from the split, the roaring itself. To my good friend, Jankles, or as I like to call him, Wankles. Excuse my terrible art skills, buddy. Jankles. So, we theorized for a while that Gaster fell in the core or Deltarune. We know, but what if during the end of Deltarune, Gaster himself split? It'd be narratively satisfying, because we've been theorizing for so damn long that what happened to Gaster. And with all the fan service in these new chapters, I find it not unreasonable to assume that Gaster's death or subsequent fracture could be a part of it. But I sound insane, right? He can't fracture. It wouldn't make any sense. He's fractured after all, right? That's the thing. So we know that being in possession of a shadow crystal does something to you. It gives you a sort of power. What if the Gaster followers themselves have shadow crystals? And that one that says that they have a piece of him right here, it could be a shadow crystal. When you defeat the knight in combat, they drop the fracture from their blade creates a shadow crystal, and it looks like it's made of the same material as the rest of their body. So what if the Roaring Knight is shadow crystals? It sounds insane, right? Why the hell would that make any sense? Don't you understand? Look at this. His entire being, it's made of inversion, of a black and white color scheme. From what we know about shadow crystals now, they're a black and white color scheme, but mostly inverted. Why would Gaster have a mostly white as opposed to the black color scheme? It makes a lot of narrative sense for when the roaring happens. If Undertale is created from it, then it must have fucked up really badly. And looking at my notes here, the fragmenting of Gaster could have created Undertale, as we know. He's not only the War Knight, he's a reason why Undertale could exist. His fragmenting form might have created such a devastating fallout that it rewrote history. Think about it. The Roaring. It basically is a unification of the dark and light worlds. Because it's so confusing. Because from what we know about the roaring, darkness up here in the light world. And, but skipping over all that, the core. The core. Don't you understand? He never built the core. The Gaster follower that tells us about Gaster. One of the Gaster followers who tells us about Gaster phrases it in a hypothetical. Almost as if he never built the core. Hear me out. What if someone else, going under a similar alias to Dr. Gaster, built the core? Or maybe even the shadow crystals are what helped build the core. It sounds crazy, right? Yeah, it's fucking insane. But even don't you understand, dear viewer? Don't you understand? It feels like something's wrong here. Why the fuck would I get a shadow crystal of all things? It would be what helps build the core. Shadow crystals are implied by Sham to have immense energy. What else has immense energy? The core. The core is the underground's main source of electricity, and we don't know how it runs. Our only theory has been the lava. What if it could be a mixture of the lava and the shadow crystals themselves? In the words of that Gaster follower, it is said that Gaster built the core. Gaster is associated with shadow crystals. He is the shadow crystals. It makes too much fucking sense. Gaster is the Roaring Knight because he is the shadow crystals, and the roaring is what had the most, and the roaring is his creation. The angel's heaven? What the fuck? It's Undertale, dude. Even there's a quality in Earth. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? It's insanity. It's insanity. I swear, if I hadn't gone insane long ago, I've gone insane by now. Gaster's the Roaring Knight because he's responsible for distributing the shadow crystals. He's got enough narrative sense to do so. And his associations with the devil and other demonic imagery seem to be related. It makes too much sense to not happen. Don't you understand? It makes too much sense. From the top, I'm going to read it and I'm going to clear up all my rambling real quick. So, Gaster is the Roaring Knight for quite a few reasons. He did not build the core because he was already fragmented at that time. His essence was used to help create it. And because he is the shadow crystals. He is the shadow crystals. It makes too much sense. And another point, the Gaster followers. Their knowledge that apparently they already are supposed to have is that he is just... He's the shadow crystals. The shadow crystals apparently, narratively, allow someone to obtain immense knowledge. What happened and what does Gaster contain? Immense knowledge. It makes so much sense. So Gaster's the knight, and that's Night Tracers. I don't want to beef with y'all. Just let me have my theories. Let me have my delusions. So Gaster's the knight. He's the knight. He's just a knight.